snow-covered hill, and the earth standing still for all to see. And I said to myself, what a precious world I'm in, where each moment is a lifetime, and a new life can begin. And we have the vision, the light and the life that never ends. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe, believe, believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe. So hold in your heart all that you desire, and what you never wanted, let it burn in the fire, 'cause you have the power to plant any flower and watch it bloom. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe, believe, believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe. Believe, believe, believe. Believe, believe, believe.
Oh, God, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. Yes, it was.
Robin Hackett, I do believe, and I do believe you're amazing.
Thank you.
We are so blessed to have you here.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, maybe I won't talk. Maybe I'll just let you get it. Nah, y'all know me. I don't the July theme is revealing wholeness, and today's topic is one healer. One healer. Now, there are so many modalities that we can use to heal. We can choose nutrition and diet changes. We can absolutely use exercise as a wonderful modality for healing. Also, we can use things like energy healing, Reiki, and other kinds of energy healing that are just amazing. We can also massage, chiropractic, acupuncture, and prayer. Now there's one. Yeah. We can use Chinese medicine, or we can use the absolute traditional allopathic medicine that is usually practiced in our country. We can also use pharmaceuticals, chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy. There are so many types, so many modalities that are healing modalities. But you know what? There's only one healer. There's only one healer. And that healer is within. With all of those choices, with all of the modalities that are available, healing doesn't come from the outside. It absolutely doesn't come from the outside. We know that life lives us, and that all that is important arises from us and moves through us. So healing doesn't come from the outside, but all of these things, these are good things. I mean, I don't want you to think that, you shouldn't be using massage or acupuncture or whatever it is that you choose to use as healing modalities. But the thing is, if something within us, if that one healer within us does not respond, does not take that energy and use it, nothing's going to get healed. Nothing's going to get healed. So what is it in us that heals? Ernest Holmes says, there is but one healer. This is the spirit of truth. There's but one life principle. This is God in us. There's but one final law. This is the law of good. There is but one ultimate impulsion. This impulsion is love. I absolutely love the readings that you shared this morning, Lori, because God is love, absolutely. So we're healed by the one energy, the one power, the one presence, the one vitality that has always been with us. It's what gave us life. It's what imparted its life into us. Absolutely. The one healer that is embedded in each one. In each one. Now Jesus, the master teacher, called it the Father within. He said, the Father within does the work. So what is this mother, father within that does the work, that does the healing? Well, it's the God that Lori was talking about. This God that doesn't need us to placate it, or that doesn't need us to worship or adore it, because it has moved into and through us. We are its expression. Each one of you is its expression. It's the energy and essence that infused its life into us in the first place. It's what keeps our heart beating, and what keeps us breathing, and what keeps renewing ourselves. Now, do any of you consciously know how to digest food?
No.
Okay, I see some head shakes. How about, do you know how to create red blood cells?
No.
Not exactly. How about fighting infection, or killing off cancer cells, or even healing a paper cut? Anybody know? Not about that, but exactly how to do it? We don't. It's what does all of that is the healer within. It does all of that and so much more. And it's here in all of us. It's a presence and a power. It's that eternal thing. It was part of us before we were born. It's what urged us into this physical life. Said, come on, Mary, move into physical life. Put on this magic suit. Move through and experience things that you can't experience without a physical body. These amazing physical bodies that we have. So stop for a minute and feel your breath. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the life pumping through your veins. feel each cell being constantly bathed in the energy of life, the energy of health, the energy of vitality. Is that cool or what? Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I take that for granted a lot. Yeah, I think that's okay. You know, I don't think we have to be thinking about it all the time. But every once in a while, I would like to stop and really appreciate the miracle of being alive. The miracle of being alive, that I can stand up here, that I can see all of you, that I can hear your voices, that I can feel your light and the joy that is within you. It's that absolute miracle that we are even alive. I mean, is it not amazing that we're alive? That we can speak and sing, that we can walk and dance, that we're even here? Is it not an absolutely mind-blowing miracle? Yes! Yes, it is. And it's this life that's in us, this amazing, miraculous life that is the one healer. It's the life giver. It lives within us. It's our God spark. It's our infinite source of healing wisdom. It's our life force. It's the power that knows what to do with all of those healing modalities. So that when we step forth into healing, and when we say yes, whatever healing modality we choose, the spirit within, the healer within, can take that and use it for healing. Because it is the healer within that does the work. Now, I dare say there isn't a single person here that has never been sick or injured. And yet here we are, vibrant, alive, pretty much awake. Pretty much awake. And this one healer has healed us. It's healed us of colds and the flu. It's healed our scraped knees, and it's healed our broken bones. Some here have even experienced healing from cancer or other supposedly life-threatening diseases. Healing happens. But what do you say? Doesn't the healing come from the drugs and the treatments and the therapies? Isn't it that stuff outside of us that really makes the difference? No, absolutely not. Those energies and those medications and those therapies, they are not all enough by themselves. If you do it without the healer within, it doesn't work. And so absolutely, the modalities that we choose are important, and yet it's the healer within that does it. That godness, that spark, that knows how to heal, And then of course there are times when healing happens spontaneously, either without any medical treatment at all, or at the end of treatment that is not working. Now, one example of that is Anita Morjani, whom you may have heard of. She's written several books. One of them is Dying to Be Me, about her near-death experience. And she's written some other really, really inspiring books as well. In 2006, Anita Morjani fell into a coma as her 4-year struggle with cancer was coming to an end. While her dying body was being cared for gently, she went into a near-death experience. And in this near-death experience, she discovered one of life's greatest truths. Heaven is not a destination, it's a state of being. Heaven is not a destination, it's a state of being that we can all choose. So on a soul level, in that near-death experience, she was given a choice. You know, you can stay in this heaven, or you can go back into your physical experience, into your physical body. She went back, and I'm glad she did. And immediately, her body, the healer within her, started healing. By the time she regained consciousness, healing was already happened, and within weeks, she was completely disease-free. She was on her deathbed, and then weeks later, she was completely disease-free. That was the healer within. Now, also I've heard stories, and maybe you have too, of people who have gone in for something like cancer surgery. They open them up, they say, oh my goodness, you know, there's too much, we can't do anything with this. Close them up, tell the person, you know, it's time to get your affairs in order. It's time to prepare for your last days, because you don't have much time left. Now, sometimes one of those people comes back years later, comes back into the doctor's office for something else, and there's absolutely no indication that cancer was ever present. Spontaneous healing. The one healer at work. The one healer at work. And spontaneous remission is that one healer, and another example of the one healer is the placebo effect. Okay, there we go. So Karen,
Do tell.
for your benefit,
Yes.
there's a cartoon on the screen, and it shows a gentleman who's shopping. And on one side it says placebos, and on the other side of him it says fast-acting, extra-strength placebo. And he says, better go with these. Better go with these. So we've all heard about studies that show that sugar pills are sometimes as effective or nearly as effective as prescription medications in some cases. I mean, they've done studies, and I mean, that is, nobody can deny that. Because it's a pill, even if it's sugar. We think if it's a pill, it's medicine. If it's medicine, I expect it to make me better. And when I expect it to make me better, my expectations are often what I experience. That, of course, is our amazing teaching. The placebo effect doesn't just happen with pills, though. I was doing some research and found that there have been several studies, but in 2002, a study was done about fake knee surgery. Fake knee surgery. There were a total of about 180 patients in this study, and they had osteoarthritis of the knee, and they were divided into 3 groups. Now, this was by their consent. All of them knew that they would be in one of the 3 groups, but they didn't know which group they would be in. The first group had a standard arthroscopic procedure done. The second group had lavage, which is a cleaning out of the joint so that the bad stuff floats away. Now, the third group had fake surgery. They cut their knee open. They didn't do a thing to their joint at all. They sewed them up to make it look like they had had surgery. And guess what?
Miracles.
The results for all 3 groups were just about the same. Just about the same. Those who had the actual procedure did no better than those who had the fake surgery. They all improved the same amount. And other studies have been done along the same line. So this isn't just one study that is out of the blue. It's the placebo effect. Now, the fact that spontaneous healing occurs and that the placebo effect has been repeatedly demonstrated to be valid, doesn't mean that we shouldn't use surgery and drugs and all other available modalities. It's all God. There wouldn't be any surgery if Spirit had not inspired someone, many of them, years ago to start experimenting. There wouldn't be any pills if Spirit had not had the idea, if Spirit had not been the intelligence that created medications and vitamins, food supplements, all of that. There's divinity in absolutely everything. But there's something in us, something in each of us that reacts to those treatments, to those medications. Something that responds. If it didn't respond, healing would not happen. There is within each one of us the one healer. Ernest Holmes said in the Science of Mind text, "In this science, we believe that humanity's life is a drama which takes place on 3 planes, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. We should have no objections to any form of healing, for anything that helps to overcome suffering is good, whether it be a pill or prayer. We believe in any method which produces results, for each has its place in the whole. Each has its place in the whole." Now, next week we're going to talk about that wholeness, how you are wholly, how you are completely whole, utterly divine. And we're going to talk about how remembering that creates a consciousness of healing, opens us up for amazing healing. Now, this consciousness of healing that we're going to talk more about next week, it enhances your health. It helps any modalities that you choose to use, and it also is effective for healing in any other area of your life. It could be jobs, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be creative expression. But this healing consciousness, this consciousness of healing, is amazing. So, come back next week. But your homework this week, should you decide to accept it, is to remember that there is within you an inner healer that knows exactly how to heal any area of your life. Any area of your life. So here's an affirmation. I'm grateful for the one healer within that knows how to heal me and is doing so right now. Say that with me.
I am grateful for the one healer within that knows how to heal me and is doing so right now.
Once more.
I am grateful for the one healer within that knows how to heal me and is doing so right now.
Right now and going forward. And so as practitioners stand with me in high consciousness, let's take that into prayer. So I recognize the one God, the one power, the one healer that is within each of us. I recognize that it is absolutely limitless, that there is nothing beyond the scope of the divine, nothing beyond the scope of spirit, no disease that cannot be healed, no relationship that cannot be healed, no problem in any area of our life. As the reading said, there would be a problem if God was not love, but God is love. It is here for us, it is here in us, as us, through us. I know that because I am one with that essence, and because each person here is one with that divine essence, that all that God is and has is mine to call upon and use. And so I know about the creative law. I know that my word is powerful. And so I speak my word for healing for each one here and for all of those that we come in contact with. What I absolutely declare is that the inner healer is awakened. Whether there are other healing modalities being used or not, the inner healer is awakened. Miracles are happening. As we open, as we say yes, Spirit says yes, 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 yes. And so as we go into our week, it is with the awareness that there is that healer within, that it knows how to heal us, that it is doing so in every moment. And so we can just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the healing that is unveiling itself, that is opening up into our path. Knowing that part of that healing is guidance as we are guided to anything that will support our healing in any area of our life. So God is good. God is love. The healer within is all of that and more. So we call upon it, we use it. And knowing that God has all the answers, that the wisdom within us, that godness within us, has all the answers, who knows how to pull this all together even though I don't have a clue how. I just let this go, letting God be God, letting the inner healer be the inner healer for each of us now and going forward. So I release my word into the law that can only say yes. It says yes, and we let it go. And so it is.
This is a fun focus, this is the moment.